joined us in the studio today. Eric Schoberg is here in the house. Welcome, Eric.
Good to be here.
All right, so Jimmy Garoppolo this season signed a 5-year, $137.5 million contract to play with the San Francisco 49ers. 90 of it is guaranteed. Tell me, by you living in the Pacific Northwest, in the NFC West division, what do you think about that move with Jimmy G coming to San Francisco?
It is a complete and total waste of money.
Now, why do you say that?
Jimmy G is a good quarterback. Good quarterbacks don't warrant that money.
Now, in your opinion, who would you consider a good quarterback? Because I noticed that you come with your Detroit Lions jersey on.
A good quarterback, I mean, the NFL is full of good quarterbacks. There's 5, maybe 6 premier quarterbacks that warrant that kind of money. Matthew Stafford being one.
Matthew Stafford, what was his playoff record again this year?
What was Jimmy G's?
Well, funny that you asked that. His last 5 starts that he started once he got to San Francisco, all 5 wins, 5-0.
Okay.
Do you know 2 of those teams were against playoff teams? One of them at their place, being Jacksonville Jaguars, went to Jacksonville, beat them 44-33. That was Jimmy G that did that.
And was Jacksonville a legitimate playoff team, or was it an AFC squeak through because of a weak division?
Well, now it's funny that you say that again, because how many times in your lifetime has the Detroit Lions played in the NFC Championship game?
That doesn't say anything about a quarterback.
Well,
it's at the team and the coaching.
Okay, but
of which we will address later.
The Jacksonville Jaguars played in the AFC Championship game this season, so that seems like it's a pretty good team with the way that they've set up and they build up. They were a
scrub team?
No. The franchise? What do you call it? They were expansion franchise, and they build up and they go to the AFC Championship. So they tear it all down again, and they build it all the way back up again in the same time that your beloved Lions haven't been able to get this job done. Now, why is that?
That speaks volumes to the weak AFC division, and Detroit not putting a foundation in place until now.
Okay, so Jimmy G goes to Los Angeles and
San Francisco.
No, I'm talking about beats Los Angeles at Los Angeles.
Oh,
playoff team. Beats Jacksonville at home 44-33. Mm-hmm. Now, they have their the players they have on their roster right now: Carlos Hyde, Pierre Garcon, Aaron Burger, shout out Michigan State University, Elmas Duberville, Navarro Ballman. They got a lot of players that are around it. Plus, they've got a lot of cap space.
San Francisco's not. I'm not saying they're not legit. I'm saying the wasted money. There's a difference between the two. San Francisco is going to be contender in that division because Seattle has fallen off, and the only contender they have now is L.A. So it's going to be L.A. and San Francisco, top 1 and 2.
So if you're right there competing for an NFC West championship, you're not going to pay the money it takes to get Jimmy G to stay there, because he's not staying there for
he's
Kirk
staying
Cousins
for a lot less. He's staying for a lot less.
No, sir.
And you could have picked up Kirk Cousins.
Could have. Definitely could have.
And he would have just gone as far.
Jimmy Garoppolo is Kirk Cousins is a Spartan, and I love him, but Jimmy Garoppolo is a little bit better version than Kirk Cousins is.
Kirk Cousins takes him to the playoffs just as much as Jimmy G does.
Ooh. Now,
for half the price.
Now, I noticed that there are also, because they have so much cap space available, Tremaine Johnson's available to bolster that secondary. Malcolm Butler is unhappy in New England.
Malcolm Butler's coming to the D.
Well, we're going to get into that a little bit later. We are definitely going to have to get into that because we're going to talk Detroit Lions free agents in a little bit. But so anyway, you're against the Jimmy Garoppolo move in San Francisco. I like it. If they got the money to spend, it's going to take a lot for him to come there. They got to build it from the bottom to the top. With, like you said, Seattle's on the way down. Who else is in? Who's the other NFC team in the West? San Fran, Los
Arizona.
Angeles. Oh yeah, come on.
Arizona's gone past.
As much that's going to be a home team.
Fitzgerald's coming back, but that doesn't mean anything.
They don't have a quarterback.
Exactly.
I mean, San Francisco is miles ahead of Arizona right now. I think they're equal to Seattle, with Seattle on the downtick and San Francisco on the uptick. They got a new coach, which I'm not excited about.
San Francisco and Seattle go home and home, win and win.
So who wins
split it.
Just for the record, we're going to put this on wax right now.
LA Rams.
The Rams win the
Absolutely.
The 49ers, without any of the moves that they're going to make, went to LA and beat them, and you've got the Rams winning the division.
Walk away.
You walk away. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. I have said, and I am going to say it again, the San Francisco 49ers are coming, but there's no way the Los Angeles Rams win the West. Our faithful producer has them winning the West, so we're going to have to come back.
Win the West?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Arizona right now.
With who?
I'm a homer, so whatever. I love them. So that's that.
They got one defensive back and one wide receiver. Woo! That team is on fire.
They got more than that. They got good players out there. All right, so we're going to switch gears and go because pitchers and catchers reported this week. So we got big news. NL East. Okay, so Dombrowski leaves Detroit, and he's going to go and build a contender in Boston, except for Brian Cashman in New York said, wait, pump your brakes, because they have built from their farm club up through the ranks, and I'm telling you, Aaron Judge is a man. He's just a flat-out monster. Gary Sanchez, their catcher. They also got Greg Bird coming, but then they signed a free agent, or not a free agent, they traded for last season, Giancarlo Stanton. 59 home runs, 132 to go with what they've got right there. They've got right-handed pitching when they got Cervino, Tanaka, and they got Sonny Gray there. Their left-handed pitching is weak with CC Sabathia and Jordan Montgomery, but that's something that they can change in season. So you got Boston built to win the AL East, and then New York coming. They finished 2 games apart, 93 wins for Boston, 91 for New York. Who wins the AL East?
As much as I hate to say it, Yankees walk away.
Walk away.
Walk away.
New York Yankees.
Boston will take 2. The only suspect positions are 2 and 3 for the infield for the Yankees. Other than that, offensively, they cannot be touched in that division.
And pretty good starting pitching. Now, you say in that division as if this doesn't travel to other divisions. Now, keep in mind, who is the reigning World Series champs right now?
I'm going to say this. They will probably go to the World Series.
The Yankees will.
But it will not be a walkaway because injuries happen and they have suspect bullpen.
Okay, well, wait a minute. We're going to come back for the World Series prediction in a second. But who is the reigning World Series champs right now?
Seattle.
No. The Houston Astros.
Yes.
The Houston Astros are the world.
That's the only contender.
Okay, so and they went 7 games with them, 7 games in the World Series, and I believe that their pitching was the difference in that series. If they upgrade their pitching, the Yankees are the best team. Cleveland's going to have something to say about that because they're all loaded and back this year again, which makes the Detroit Tigers null and void. They're irrelevant.
Detroit's done.
I mean, and it's funny that you say that because you have a front office who Dombrowski was trying to put something together, and then Al Avila comes in. And what is the plan? Are we going to let Miguel Cabrera turn 50 before we try trading him?
2 years ago, had they shopped Iggy, because I don't even say his full fat name, had they shopped him, they would still be in contention, right? They wouldn't have had to have the yard sale that they did last year.
So J.D. Martinez is gone. Their outfield is. I talked about it last week. They took Castellanos off third and put him in the outfield. The other 2 names out there, Matty Matuk and the other guy, I don't even know what his name is. It's embarrassing. But the Detroit Tigers had a chance, like you said, 2 or 3 years ago to make changes. They didn't do it. So now this is what you're left with. So really, the Cleveland, the Tribe has the free walk to the playoffs. I believe there's nobody else that can really battle with them. And then, like you said, the Yankees in the AL East. Who is the dominant team in the AL West? besides the Houston Astros? Who can compete with
There's
them?
two, and you're going to say I'm a homer, but between Seattle and Anaheim, the wild card will fall, if not both, to one of those two.
Now, speaking of homers, nobody on any website in America is talking about the Seattle Mariners. So,
Bet.
yeah, I would
Bet.
love to. I would love to see it. I would love to see anybody in any dimension talking about the Seattle Mariners. They're just not talking about it.
Okay.
They're a terrible organization. They're poorly ran, and the only people that care about them are our friends in the Pacific Northwest.
So is ESPN a reputable?
Not at all.
Well, they know sports, right?
I'm starting to think they don't know that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Let's just say here, Sabathia's old Boone. Because they broke it down, and CBS Sportsline did the same exact thing, and said the two wild card are just what I just said. The Angels have got the strongest team, I think.
Well, let's just suffice to say that you're not going to find much on the Seattle Mariners, so we can come back to that. But it's the West is set up easily, I believe, for the Houston Astros. I believe
it's Houston's game.
The Central set up for the Tribe, and then it's the Yankees and Boston battling, which will a wild card's coming out of that right there. So Boston's going to grab one of them wild cards.
Boston suspect pitching, and pitching is what wins titles.
They do. Mookie Betts, I like their outfield. They have a really fast, athletic outfield, which is good. They're starting pitching. I believe they're the guy that came from Detroit. What was his name? Porcello. Yeah, I mean, there's just starting pitching is just questionable. It is questionable, but they need 90. I'm gonna say 95 wins, 90 wins to get into the playoffs. They will get 90 wins. The Boston Red Sox are going to be in the playoffs this year. So if we have the AL all together like that.
Also, the Yankees just traded Texas for one Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks. So
Yeah, no one cares. Literally no one cares. He's not going to play any baseball, so that's not it, man. Okay, so what now? We got to swing over to the NL side of this because the Chicago Cubs, in their fashion, made a big splash this week. 4-time All-Star Yu Darvish signs a 6-year, $126 million contract with the Cubs. Now, with Lester and the boys that they got there right now, that was a good move. I mean, they needed starting pitching, right?
That money put them in the World Series.
Okay. So I'm glad that you took a stance on that and we're not straddling the fence. So now I'm going to hold you to your feet to the fire on this. They needed starting pitching.
Put them down.
And you believe that Yu Darvish was the way to go, okay? Am I correct in saying that?
Absolutely, 100%. Okay. That money put them in the World Series. They were missing one piece.
Okay, let me get you off the stats for last year. Yu Darvish was 10-12 with a 3.86 ERA and 209 strikeouts, which is those are solid numbers across the board. I really like those numbers. Let's look a little bit closer. In the World Series, when it counted, when you make your money, Yu Darvish pitched 2 games in the World Series. Game 3, one was Kershaw, 2 was Rich Hill. So they come back in Game 3 with Yu Darvish, and he proceeds to pitch 1 2/3 innings and get shelled and taken out in the second inning. So they're like, okay, everybody can have a bad game.
Absolutely.
So what do? Joe Madden gives the ball in the most. I mean, not Joe Madden. What is his name? From the New York Yankees. He used to play with the Yankees. Anyway, he gives the ball to Yu Darvish in Game 7. Astros against the Dodgers. And what does Yu Darvish do in that game? Can you remember? Can you tell me what happened?
I can tell you who was he pitching against.
He was pitching against Houston. I mean, that powerhouse juggernaut they got up there. Nobody really. Nobody. And he gives up 6 runs in 1 2/3 and gets shelled again. So he pitched a total of 3 1/3 innings in the World Series and got shelled. And you, my friend, came on the record here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct and told all these good people that the Chicago Cubs spent $126 million, and it's well spent.
Puts him in the World Series.
Okay, it puts them in the World Series. What happens when you get to the World Series, which we clearly already